right. You on here? Well, first, I want to thank the fans and the city of Orlando for showing up tonight. Proud of our fan base. Again, for us, it wasn't pretty overall, but we got ourselves a win, and we're 2-0. So I think right now, we're going to be on the road for a little bit. When we come back, we need this fan base to really, continue to grow every single week. But really thankful for these guys showing up and the coverage that you guys give us, number one. Number two, man, shout out to Louisville and Chris Redmond. That team came to fight. They defensively, they gave us some problems in the run game. Obviously, that was a big part of their strategy. And then in some situations in the passing game, either we broke down in protection. They dialed a couple things up and they got us. And sometimes they catch us. And we got a lot to grow and learn from offensively in this football game. I will say this though: when we needed a few plays, we were able to make it. Badger with an unbelievable. We had a little heavy run action, rolling it out to the right, and that's just a great call by Colin in that moment, and Jack just to make that throw to Badger, and then those guys making those plays. I mean, we have guys making plays everywhere. We just have to be more consistent. I thought we weren't really good on first down today. That was behind the sticks, really cost us in this football game, but give credit to Louisville for what they did defensively. For us defensively, I'm not quite sure what we did in the first half. We're in a lot of different places we shouldn't have been. We weren't really good at tackling, but man, Donnie came in at halftime. He's not a man that says many words, but he lit into the defense and they responded, man. They shut them out in the second half. That was an unbelievable second half. Shut them out. Mish Powell with an awesome interception. It was just a fantastic second half. And we needed that phase to step up, and they did. And if we can get one phase to do it, and it's happened to be the defense this week, then that's fine. They helped sell out the offense for their play today. But again, when you win the game and you can win ugly, there's a lot you can fix on the field and on the film, and we'll watch it and we'll get better. We get to play this team again. So, again, we got a chance to go on the road and rectify. So, yeah.
First row on the left, Coach.
Yep.
Coach Terry Spain with the Storm Report. So you won back-to-back games. What's the mindset in the locker room that you're trying to instill with these players and keep the momentum going?
Next play. Football's a funny game, man. It's very humbling. You got weapons, you got a lot of things going for you. You think, you can do exactly how you want to see, what they're going to run, how you're going to play them, and sometimes things don't work out, so you got to keep chopping wood. Look, we took the lead at halftime. They scored, I think, on every series. They had a field goal. Bend don't break again. We didn't let them score in the red zone, so that was a huge plus and allowed our offense to at least take the lead. That play at the end, that's why you have great playmakers, right? A guy catches the ball on the right, you think it's a dead play, and all of a sudden Hamler comes around and just makes everybody miss. He did that last week, so we got a lot of speed. Chris Rowland, another guy, Badger, if those guys get the ball in their hands, they are dangerous. And we got to do a better job of that. We got to protect better. Our tackles, our offensive line, they had an up and down game today, but overall, man, they kept fighting. So if we got to help Chip and do different things outside, that's on us. We'll do that and we'll correct that, but we'll be better next week. Yep.
Coach, Kyle Nash with the Storm Surge podcast. You mentioned the defense earlier. I know last week we were talking with you and you had mentioned you'd like to keep them keep the other side out of the red zone more. You did that. They made it once and they didn't get there till 25 minutes of football was played. What did they do from last week to get to that point? I know you had some questions of what they could fix, but how did they improve from last week?
Yeah, I think there is a confidence when they're down in that area that they feel like they can make the stop. It's just that those long drives really do pound you. We don't have a lot of bodies. Obviously, we can't be shifting a lot of guys in and out. So, we got to do a better job executing. I think they converted a couple third and longs with, they kill you, when they do those kind of things. So, but the guys responded in the second half. That was the biggest thing. And I think there's some confidence building there as well. Now, can we clean some things up the way we started, being in the right spots? I just kept hearing it in the headphones, we're in the wrong spot. We're not here. That's just not what we've done. We haven't shown that yet. So, again, we're going to have to watch this film hard. It's Easter tomorrow. It's a holiday. Guys are off, but our staff will be in there tomorrow, and we'll get it right. We have a really good staff that can get things turned over quick, and the good thing is we get to play the same team again, so we get to come out with a better plan and execution for this week.
Second row on the left.
Coach Becht, Francisco Bear with Night News.
Can you kind of talk about Michael Lance's performances, not only last week with his 55-yarder, but also this week with his 57-yarder? It seems like whenever he has to go out and kick a field goal, he's automatic. Can you touch up on his performances so far?
Yeah, I mean, look, I trust him. Obviously he's got a big leg. We had a couple fourth down situations that were just, to me, we got a lot of playmakers. It's hard to come off the field when you feel like, okay, we dialed up a play. They gave us cover 0 on one of them. We should have broke in when we broke out and kind of delayed our quarterback a little bit, and he kind of threw it out and high. And we just have to execute better. Our plays are there. The plays are there. We got to win on first down. We got to stay ahead of the sticks, and then we got to let our playmakers go to work when it's man-to-man. If people are going to play us man-to-man, we have to make them pay for that, and we didn't do that quite often enough in this game.
On the right, first row.
Coach, KJ Hamler making an immediate impact in the game, big touchdown run. Talk about his performance tonight.
Yeah, he's a special player. Between him, Rowe, and Badger. Again, if we can we just get them the football, protect a little bit. We tried to take some shots in this game. We wanted to try to, kind of take advantage of the fact that they had a lot of guys in the box. We just couldn't hold up at times. But, you keep plugging, you keep chugging, and Rowe made a couple nice one-on-one, these choice routes that we have, where basically it's man-to-man, and they just got to win. Wherever the leverage is, quarterback sees them, he breaks inside or outside, depending on how the defense plays it. So, we'll live and die on a lot of those plays. We got into tempo late in the game. I thought that was something maybe we could do offensively. And, listen, Colin's very good. He listens. He's first-time play caller. A lot of adversity today, which is great. A lot of learning tools for all of us to get better. But no panic. Again, what's the next play? How do we get better? But when you're second and long and some of we didn't have a lot of penalties, but we just felt like there was a couple that happened that just kind of killed us. And we had those third and long kind of deals when we're already past the 50. Those are tough plays to call. So again, it's a learning experience. But a lot of teams, they can't handle that and they lose. And we're able to go out there and win the football game and take care of business. And we're 2-0.
Back row.
I'll just yell.
Yeah, I got you.
Coach Shane Whitehead, WFTV. If my math is correct, three games in 13 days. Is that enough time for these guys to heal and for you to really dissect the game and put those learning pieces together?
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, this is a different league. We practice differently. We do have to pull back. We have to take reps away. We have to take the minutes down. And what it does is it makes me and our staff have to trust our players to really dial in mentally, and that's tough. At this level, a lot of these players that are playing in this league, they're trying to get better in a lot of facets of their game. And you're asking guys, and you're asking them to go out there and do some things at like a jog tempo or a walkthrough tempo. But we stay consistent with that every day. Every day we practice, multiple walkthroughs. We'll pull it back obviously early in this week. They'll be fresh. They'll be ready to go. We know how to handle it. In this league, you have to adjust to a lot of those things, and we have a lot of work with that in my last 3 seasons doing that. So the schedule's not going to be a problem. I think there's an advantage for us to utilize that schedule just because I've been around this a little bit, and other teams with maybe some different coaching staffs that haven't been doing this quite a bit of time. That how do you actually take care of your players but still get the maximum potential out of them throughout the week. So hopefully that plays to our advantage as we move forward in the year.
2 more questions, first row. Back.
Now when I was post our show, I was able to talk to Danny Garcia before the game. She said some very flattering remarks about you. Can you talk about Danny Garcia and her impact on this league?
Yeah, I love Danny. Just her belief in me back in 2023. It was a long, chop wood process for me. I wasn't in the top 100. I wasn't in the top 200. But I found a way to get to the right people and sell a vision. And it's worked out well for me. I was given an opportunity. Just like I came out of high school, nobody really wanted to give me an opportunity. I had one scholarship, and I took that and ran with it. Became a first-round pick. Well, they gave me that small opportunity to be a professional head coach with really limited experience. But I had a plan, man. It worked. I had great people. It's about a staff, picking the right players, these guys buying in. And, it's funny because this can be a very transactional league. 30 days of training camp, guys just come in, it's a whole new roster, guys trying to get theirs, play reps, all that stuff. But you can build something. If you can get guys to come together and play for a higher deal. So, we preach selflessness, and it's hard. It's hard to be selfless in a league that you're trying to get yours and put your tape and get your catches and get your tackles and get your reps. But I think it's much better when a team's winning to watch. I don't think anybody wants to watch us if we're 0-2, right? It's just hard, right? So when you're winning, it just gives us more eyeballs, and I think that's what's going to help our players in those moments. And Again, I can't express my appreciation to Danny Garcia enough for, you know, taking that Zoom with me at the final interview. And she didn't even interview me. She just said, you know, we did the process, we did our homework. You're one of our head coaches, and it was awesome. And they gave me one of the best franchises in the league in St. Louis. So honored to do that, and honored to be here now in Orlando. And I want to grow it just as much as you did there.
Last question, James Larson.
Coach, I know you said it was a slugfest defensively, kind of picked things up in the second half, but Louisville just 3 for 12 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. Just kind of talk about that defensive effort and being able to lean on a unit that Donnie Abraham has put together here. A guy like Keyshawn Banks should be in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Garrett, the way we call those guys finishers, right? You know, no matter what, in the fourth quarter, if you watch the last 2 series of the last 2 games, those guys, they turn it up. And, you know, we got to get that momentum and going earlier in the football game. So we have those fresh legs, but man, they dive deep. And that's the thing about it. Like, you know, you just keep knocking it, keep playing, and good things will happen. So I trust my players. It's hard, you know, as a head coach, you're standing there like, what's going to work on offense? What can we do? And you're talking through things. You're trying to be calm. You know, you're trying to give some, you know, trying to get everybody to give a, you know, what they think, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's come up with a plan and be patient with it. And eventually something clicked at the end. But yeah, defensively, the second half effort, really, overall, didn't look pretty in the first half, but the finish was outstanding. And I'm super proud of my team. And, you know, we're 2-0. It's hard to win games in any league, high school, Pop Warner. I don't give a crap what it is. But in a professional football league, to be 2-0 at home, we're locking the gates down. We got 3 more at home. We want to win them all. And, you know, now we get to go on the road, a little bit less, you know, pressure, different opportunity here, a little different, you know, environment for us. And that'll be good for us as we travel next week and go to Louisville and play them.
Thanks,
again.
Coach.
All right,
Thanks,
good.
Coach.
Thanks, guys. Go Storm.